If you're newer to Photoshop, these are some good tutorials to kind of help you get started and going. The one we'll look at today is how to do a basic kind of geometric reflection. So I'm going to go ahead and open up an image I downloaded, and I will put a copy of this in the comment section below so you can find it there also. But it's basically just a simple kind of foggy mountain picture. And really any picture that has a good portion of the image, it's basically one solid color, will work pretty well for this. Okay, so you can see with this one here, it has that large kind of just singular color. So you can do the same thing with like a city landscape, if it had a large kind of night sky, really anything similar to that. Okay, so for this one, just to start, you're just going to make a basic selection. So I'm over here, I'm clicking and holding to open up this group. I'm going to go to the Elliptical Marquee tool. And whenever I'm clicking and dragging, if you hold the Shift key, that'll make it a perfect circle. But I'm just going to try and get a selection, and in part of my selection I want to include that background piece because I'm going to try and blend those later. Okay, so you can see I was picking up a little bit of this background with the image here. From here I'm going to copy and paste. So you can go Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste, or use the shortcuts Control C, then Control V. I'm going to copy that one and paste. And visually it won't look any different, but that's because it pasted directly on top of where you just were. We can see there's another layer over here. So I go to my Move tool. You see it's a piece by itself. And then if we use Free Transform, so Edit and Free Transform, or Control T, we can rotate if we put our mouse outside of that box. So I'm going to click and hold here and rotate. And if you want to rotate by specific degree amounts, same thing as before, if you hold down the Shift key, it's going to do it by specific amounts there. So I'm going to do mine a full kind of 180 rotation. So you can see it start up here, degree, it's actually 0, but it's a full 180. Okay, so basically it's upside down, and hit check there. From here I can kind of shift it or move it if I want. I'm just going to leave it there for now. And then I'm going to kind of blend this bottom piece down here. Easiest way to do that is just to get your eraser tool. You can go over here on the left on your toolbar. I'm going to my eraser. And then it's pretty small right now. You can change the size up here, adjust size there, or you can click the brackets on your keyboard. Adjust it that way also. A few things with the eraser tool if you're not familiar with that. When you click up here, you can see there's the size and the hardness. Size is just how big the eraser tool is. The hardness is how harsh of an edge it has on it. So visually showing you with it at 100 right now, see when I erase across, it has a very distinct line or edge to it. Alternatively, if I take the hardness down to 0, it's going to give it a much softer edge. So you can see it kind of blends or fades together. So for this project, I would say you're probably going to want it to have a softer edge, unless there's like a specific look you're trying to get where you want it to have that kind of harsher edge along it. So maybe if you were doing like a cityscape, or just trying to like the edge of the mountain here, maybe you want a harsher edge there, but in general, if you're just blending these like colors together, softer edge tends to work pretty well for that. So you can see how it kind of just blends together like that. Okay, so we have this piece here. And really, if that's what you're going for, then you could stop at that point. I'm just going to kind of add a little bit to it. So I'll go back up here, try to add some like additional shapes or designs. So I'm going to go back to rectangular marquee, just select a piece of it, and it doesn't even really matter where you select. It's like I'll get the peak up here. Okay, and how I was moving that around, let me deselect this. Whenever you're getting your selection, again, if you want it to be a perfect shape, whether it's a circle or a square, hold Shift. And then if you're wanting to move it to a different spot, so I'm still holding down the mouse button, but I'm also going to hold down spacebar. So let me shift it to a different spot, and then if I'm still holding the mouse button but let go of spacebar, it'll let me go back to resizing that. Okay, now with this selection here, and then before I copy, I want to go back to the background layer. So visually showing you, if I try to copy this one, it's going to give me an error message. And that's because I have this top layer selected, So technically this is what it's trying to select, which is nothing. So I'm just going to click on the background to tell the computer this is the layer I want to copy from. Copy and paste, and edit, copy, edit, paste, or Control-C, Control-V if you're working on a Windows. Okay, I'm going to go back to my Move tool, move that one over. Same thing, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this piece. So I'm going to use Free Transform, so that's Edit, Free Transform, or Control-T, or Command-T if you're on a Mac. And I'm holding Shift, so it's just a specific degree amount. I'll do this one, let's do it this direction. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and size it up a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I'm going to line it up with the circle I have here. Okay, actually I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And if you want it to get bigger from the center as opposed to the corner like I'm doing, if you hold the Alt key, you can see it sizes all of them at the same time together. So basically, if you already have a position where you want, you can hold down the Alt key to size them all from the same spot. Okay. Alright, so that looks pretty good there. Go ahead and either hit Enter or the check mark up here. And then I'm just going to try and remove the center of this one. And really there's two ways you can do that. I could go back and just get another selection of the middle here and just cut that instead of copying. So just, edit and cut. So remove it that way. In general, it looks okay. You can see like maybe some of these sides aren't quite even. So if you're wanting a more precise way of doing that, if you go over to your layer and if you look at the image icon on that layer, hold Control and click on that one. So I'm holding down the Control key and clicking on the image on that layer for the thumbnail. You can see it makes a selection of whatever's on the layer. Right now it's just that image. I'm going to go Select, Modify, and Contract. And you can pick how much you want to contract by. I'm just going to say like 3 pixels. Okay. So again, visually it didn't go in very much because it's pretty small. So let's do it one more time. So Select, Modify, and Contract. Let's do 10 this time. So visually you can see that it went in more, a larger amount, or 10 pixels. Okay. And then just like we did the other time, I'm just going to cut that. So Edit, Cut, and again the shortcuts should always be over here on that right side. You see to remove that piece from the middle. Okay. So just some different ways you can get kind of a more artistic look with just the different images you're doing, or how to do like a basic kind of geometric reflection where you're kind of using the same piece of the image, just kind of make a new piece of art there. Alright, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments and I'd be happy to help with those. Otherwise, that's a pretty simple, easy way to do a geometric reflection type image. Alright, thanks. Bye.